It's Week 17 of the National Football League, and we've got C.J. Stroud. After his last game, he's now across 3,000 yards for the season. It's the Texans and the Ravens, and it's coming up next on EA Sports.
As the sun starts to set, we're going to see how much light is left by the end of this early evening game here on the NFL on EA Sports. Merry Christmas and happy holidays from all of us here at EA Sports.
Vividly. It was so fun. It was such an honor and privilege to get to play on this holiday. And as a player, you embrace that, but you also know as a player and coach, Christmas is going to feel a whole lot better when you celebrate it tomorrow with a win today.
Kaimi Fairbairn ready to get this one going. And we're off and running from Houston. Return coming from the 14. And in the end, he's able to get it to what used to be a touchback. It's at the 25 after the return. So the Ravens offense taking over for the first time here. And they're brought out by the reigning MVP, the second of his career, the best runner in the game. It's Lamar Jackson.
Two numbers that a lot of people were focused on from his performance last week. That would be 3 and 0, as in touchdowns and interceptions. That's a quarterback who was efficient, aggressive in the right spots, and he took great care of the football. And of course, he cares less about those two numbers. It's more about the alphabet, that little W, picking up the win in that ball game.
And it's a nice little chunk here, 6 yards. Christian Harris on the stop. We get a look at his rushing numbers from last week here, what he was able to do in support of that win. After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4. Running once more with Henry. And he's caught behind the line for a loss.
What was supposed to move the chains, or at least make third down easier to handle instead, did the exact opposite here, Kate. Now makes his third down a whole lot trickier to figure out.
3rd and 6 for them to figure out now. One of the tight ends in motion left. Jackson now on 3rd. That's cut for first. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. Step it up. They managed 22 on the rip and a first down.
You know what I like about that, Kate? I like that they're not coming out slow. They're willing to go with some looks here that will yield big yardage down the field instead of just settling for dinking and dunking the ball.
First and 10 from a yard shy of midfield. Slot man motioned over. And he drives this across midfield and down into enemy territory. 3 yards on the first down play, and that brings up 2nd and 7.
I can promise you, that's not what it looked like on the practice field nor on the whiteboard. Typically, QB run is going to net you a whole lot more yardage than that. But let's give some credit. Strong effort by that defensive front who contained a play that typically goes for a whole lot more.
And he'll go out of bounds close to the 35-yard line. A 9-yard gain and good for a first down.
I think with that call, they were trying to set him up with a short third down run, but he said, not on my watch. I'll just go get it all right here. Now, it looks wide open for 1st and 10.
Gets himself free. And he gets back to the line, but no more. Well, after that play, training staff is headed out. That's one of their top guys who's shaken up. And they're going to need him back for the upcoming postseason. 2nd and 10, need to get some positive yardage here. Lamar back to throw. On the move, headed right. He's calling his own number again. And they take him down right along the 30.
Now that's a situation, may have worked out better if he'd thrown the ball. His running ability gets him a chunky yards, but still some work to do to get that first down.
Turning to Henry on 3rd. And he's tackled with the first down yardage.
I don't know third down run for a first down could be so demoralizing to that defense.
Going to the ground again on first. And he's brought down for a loss.
Well, he was supposed to be the one who chipped away a few. He got a new set of downs started right in rhythm. Instead, he's now forced to pick himself from behind the line, thanks to a great effort defensively.
Flushed out of the pocket. Pass into the hands of Mark Andrews. And he's out of bounds at the 3. Oh, nearly got to the end zone there. They rip off a big chunk of field, and it sets him up with first and goal.
I think my favorite part was the magic he worked after the catch. The way he took the completion and made so much more out of it by adding all the extra yardage.
This drive has been excellent. A few shots now, it's starting with 6 as they come up on it. First and goal. Henry. And he's across for the touchdown. And that flag is not going to stop this celebration. They know that's an offsides call.
Looks like they don't want to win this one. Defense.
Got to the end zone with a free play, so they will, of course, decline offsides and take the points. And the kick is good. And we're going to have some extra yardage added to the kickoff on the roughing call.
Roughing the kicker. Defense.
So they tag him for roughing the kicker. And now this kickoff's going to come from the 50. Let's see if they loft in and try to stick him deep. Now Tucker on to handle the kickoff. So new kickoff rules. This is going to come out to the 30, not the 25 on the touchback. So now it's the Texans' turn to take the field for the first time. And leading them out is someone who became an absolute superstar last year as a rookie. Drafted second in 2023, it's C.J. Stroud.
And all those touchdowns he had last week, Kate, he traded every one of them in exchange for a victory. It's team over individual for him. So even though he himself is coming off the exact type of showing you want, that kind of efficiency usually wins you games, he's not happy about it. And he will be focused on rectifying those things here.
Running for the first time to Joe Mixon. And he gets it forward to still about a yard out of that. That's Odafe Owe with the stump. Manages just a yard on first down. Now it's going to be 2nd and 9.
Let's get out of here with a win,
Here's Stroud now. On target to his back, Joe Mixon. And the defense gets there to force a small loss.
Kate, that's one of those situations as a quarterback that on my grade sheet, that's a negative. That screen was ambushed by the defense, and you've got to throw it away. Just find a way to put it in his feet and not create a negative.
Ravens swooping in, and they bring him down. And the defense comes through. That's going to back him up and bring up 4th down.
It's exactly how you draw it up defensively. A 3 and out and a sack on top of it. Create that negative play. Create a little doubt in that quarterback's mind. And offensively, well, that's the worst way to start it. No rhythm, no tempo, and now you give the ball right back to the opponent.
Hunter takes the field on 4th down, and he sends this one flying. And little to nothing on that return as the coverage team gets to him. Call that a booming 56 yards in the end. And the Ravens will go on off. First down, ball at the 36. Drive begins with Henry. And they'll manage to contain him after about a 6-yard pickup. Derek Stingley putting that play to bed. Give him around 6. That's going to make it 2nd and 4.
That's a run that will take the result in the NFL every time. A nice play, a solid game, but it's also a run that you know and you may come back to, because if you were that close to breaking off an explosive one, you really break the backs of the defense.
This is Henry on 2nd. And he's brought down after a nice gain and a first down.
To be a stud back in this league, it takes more than just checking the athletic boxes. There's an IQ, a feel, a patience and craftiness required along with just tremendous vision. He showed all of it navigating that run up the middle.
Got the ball, man. Pick it up. Show them later, team.
Ball on the 45, first and 10. Lamar off the play fake. Now just throw it away, but here comes the flag. There was nobody in the neighborhood of that one.
Potential grounding.
Well, I've always wanted to ask this, so this feels like the perfect moment, Brock. Is there ever a time where a quarterback feels intentional grounding is actually worth it?
No. I don't think so. Not for your team, not for your play caller, not for your coach, not for the game situation. There really isn't a time. You've got to find an outlet, somewhere to throw that ball away safely.
Tough play for him. He took a shot on the release, and it definitely affected the throw. It's incomplete.
Well, both ends of their defense nearly came away with a huge play. Another step, and they sacked the quarterback. But even still, the hit altered the throw and almost set up the takeaway.
Finds a man right side. And he's short of the first after a mild gain.
You know, I like the completion. You never turn down a completion. That's just not the right throw to make in that spot to move the chains.
They need a lot here, but still going for it on 4th and 15. Lamar now from the gun. He's on the move. Thrown on the run, deep down the middle. This is brought in at the 15. And he works this to the 15 before they make the stop.